Hey guys, welcome to Pinterest in 10 minutes a day, where I am here to empower busy moms take control of your online business in just 10 minutes a day using Pinterest marketing. My goal is to teach you the ins and outs of do-it-yourself Pinterest marketing, share success stories, and provide actionable tips to help you grow your business. Get ready to learn and make the most out of your limited time and resources and achieve big results. Let's dive in and build your online presence today. So I want to cover this question. It's a question I got about a month ago, and I absolutely love it. And it says, I'm finally starting to get traffic from a pin. What can I do? So this lady had started getting traffic from one of her pins, like one specific pin was starting to give her traffic. And I do want to say that this is common, that it is really common to have 2 to 3 pins bring in most of your traffic from Pinterest. So if you start seeing one of those pins do that, then I want you to do these 5 steps, okay? So Pinterest is notorious for being a search engine, and usually with Google and YouTube, you're going to have those top major 2 to 3 videos or content that really stand out and really popular. And it's the same with Pinterest. So don't get worried if you don't get traffic from any of the other pins. You probably will bring some traffic from there, but if you start again a pin that's starting to get more traffic than others, or even just your very first traffic from Pinterest, then I want you to do some of these things, okay? The first thing I want to do is celebrate. And I know this sounds super silly, but the fact is it takes 6 to 9 months to get your profile algorithm to like catalog into the Pinterest system. So if you're getting traffic and clicks sooner than that, then that means you were dead on and really getting good with your keywords and your profile, and you really invested the time into getting it done right. Maybe you just got lucky, but definitely celebrate that you're starting to see traffic from Pinterest. Because once you see that traffic, you can start repeating it and looking at it and figuring out ways to bring in more and more. Okay. So one is celebrate. Your ultimate goal with Pinterest is to get that traffic either to your website or to your lead magnet, because that is the next step in turning them from a cold pinner to a warm lead and client and paying customer. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to go, let's say it's a blog post. I'm going to say that this pin led to a blog post. It could have been to a freebie or something like that, but I'm going to, for purposes of this podcast video, we're going to do blog posts. So I want you to go to that blog post on your mobile device, on your phone, go to that blog post on a tablet and a desktop. And I want you to scroll through it and look at it. How do the ads come? How do the pop-ups come? How do the freebies come? And just scroll through it and look at it. That being said, most pinners use Pinterest on their mobile device, but as entrepreneurs, we tend to work from Pinterest with our desktop a lot. So it's really important to make sure that that pin that is driving traffic to that blog post, they don't get bogged down with ads, with pop-ups, with everything freebie, where they can't actually find the content that they want from the pin that they clicked on. Because I will be the first one to tell you that you can have clicks from Pinterest and you get that traffic, but if your website is slow, if you have too many ads and too many pop-ups, those pinners are going to bounce right back to Pinterest. You're going to quit getting traffic to that pin, or you might get marked as spam because pinners are going to see that as a spammy website because they're not staying on that website long enough. So the second thing you need to do is go through your blog post, make sure it's functioning good on a mobile device so that they can read and figure out that content from that pin and really get the answers they're seeking from clicking on that pin, okay? The third thing you want to do is, as you're going through that content, is make sure there's a call to action. So you have a pinner who sees your pin and now they're on your website. What's your next step? Do you want them to schedule a call with you? Do you want them to sign up for a freebie? Do you want them to sign up for a small, low-cost product? What is your next step? That next step, that call to action, make sure it is in your blog post. Not hogging over the entire blog post, but make sure it's in there, either in the link in the content or down at the bottom, a few, 2 or 3 times, depending on how long your blog post is. That next step call to action, because you have this traffic from Pinterest. Now you want to convert that traffic to a lead or a paying customer. So in that content that's coming from Pinterest, you got these traffic from Pinterest going to that content. Make sure there's a call to action on what to do next. Great, I write all this content. Now what can I do to get on her email list or that type of thing, okay? The fourth thing is I want you to create more fresh pins to this URL. So new pin images with maybe different types of headings, little different descriptions. Create new images for this specific URL. I'm not saying create 100 of them. Start with 5 or 10 of them and pin that new image to that URL that got the traffic, that blog post, once a week. Okay, so this is content that Pinterest users are clicking on and going to. Chances are other pinners will want that too. So when you have a few more pins out there leading to that content, you can get more content with this. I've done this with, I have one pin that brings the most amount of traffic, and I probably have about 60 to 80 different types of pins from that, because every 3 to 5 months, I will create more images. So if you have a URL, a blog post that's working well, go ahead and create a few more pins to that. Only pin that URL on that pin once a week and add that to your strategy, okay? And the last thing I want you to do, so what you've done is you've celebrated, wahoo, you've checked your blog post on different devices, especially your mobile device. You've gone through that content to make sure there's a call to action. So they say, yes, this is so good. Where can I learn more? Or you've created a few more fresh pins for that URL. And the last thing I want you to do is to create more content similar to that. So let's say the blog post is 10 things you need for summer vacation, and they really, really love that list. Why not create a blog post, 5 things you need for fall break, or 5 things you need for spring break, or 10 things you need before you start Christmas shopping, or different stuff like that. They like that number. They like that summer planning. Maybe it's 3 games you need to take with you on summer vacation. So kind of tweak that content just a little bit to where it's similar, but not the exact same blog post, and create pins for that and start seeing how that content takes off, because this pinner, this ideal client, is telling you that they love that content. What content can you make that's similar that will still help that person? Another example is maybe the blog post is 3 things to do when starting a blog. So maybe you can create more content like 5 things to do after you get your blog start up, or 3 things to do when starting a blog. Maybe you could do my top 3 apps as a blogger with getting started, or the 3 must-haves as a new blogger, and just create content that's similar to what's already taking off and pins for that, and see if that takes off as well too. And if it does, go back to these steps. Celebrate it, check your blog post from mobile devices, and make sure you have a call to action, and create new fresh pins for that, okay? This is your reminder. Do not go creating 100 pins to that exact same URL and posting them every single day or 2 or 3 times a week. That is not okay. Create a few fresh pins, pin them once a week, and see how it goes. See if there's another pin that's taking off, and do the same thing with that pin, okay? Do not spam Pinterest with the same URL over and over and over again. That is not the way to grow your account, to bring in leads, clients, and ultimately money with Pinterest marketing, okay? Make sure your content is easily readable and that your next step is pointed out. When that pinner is clicking on the pin and going to your website, make sure they can get that value that they wanted and know what the next step is to do for making their way down their funnel, okay? Action step. So if you know me, I do an action step with every single post, because if you're not acting on what you learn, then it might just go in one ear and out the other, or you might never do it. So your action step is to either use Google Analytics or your Pinterest overview analytics and find one piece of content that is doing good. So if you do have traffic coming, find a blog post. That's a top blog post. If you don't have traffic coming, find a pin that is getting a lot of impressions, or maybe a lot of saves, but not clicks. Find one piece of content and apply these 5 steps to it, and see what you can grow with Pinterest, okay? It is time to understand the 3 pillars of Pinterest. So if you do not understand the 3 basic pillars of Pinterest to grow with Pinterest marketing, then I recommend looking into the Pinterest Organic Growth Academy. It is the same 3 pillars I've been using for over 5 years and teaching for many years how to grow with Pinterest using organic pinning in just 10 minutes a day. This is in the Pinterest Organic Growth Academy. It's going to take your Pinterest leads into clients and learn how to do Pinterest marketing, or learn it so you can be a VA and market your own services. Either way, I've had students do both things with that. Learn more at sharicemerrill.com/POG for more information. Thank you guys so much for being here, for listening, for engaging. If you have any questions, I would love for you to go to Facebook and ask them in my free group, Woman on Pinterest, and I will answer them for you. Sometimes I do podcasts with them, videos on them, and get those answered for you, because I am here for you to understand Pinterest and make Pinterest simple. Thank you so much for being here. I will chat with you guys later.